Fedor versus Brett, Postfight. Get a little wrap up here. I'm going to start with the Mayhem versus Shields fight. Really good fight. Big battle. Jake Shields just edged out a win. I wouldn't say he really, pulled out a huge win on that one. He just barely won. Mayhem's got some serious ground skill. Jake Shields got some good ground skill as well, so it made for a good match. I mean, it was pretty good fight when they were on their feet, and then when we went to the ground, it was, chess match there too. Good win for Jake Shields, totally. I mean, he should have some nice matches coming up here soon. Verdum versus Silva. I thought it was an alright fight. It was kind of it was a good fight. Silva almost knocked him out, which I thought was pretty surprising. I didn't think Silva was going to really do all that great. I figured Verdum would have that probably first round submission even. That's kind of what I was thinking. But Silva almost had him knocked out, I think in the first, from what I remember. But Verdum ended up taking it by decision. Gagard versus Sokaju, that was a good fight. That was a really good fight. Actually, Sokaju kind of surprised me on that one too, and kind of put me back to, hey, Sokaju's a big, strong guy. And it just kind of proves that he's not the greatest fighter there is, but he's a big, strong guy and a good puncher, and you can't necessarily count him out even against a really good opponent like Gagard. But I thought, even though Sokaju did really good, and used some really good wrestling technique against Gagard, Gagard had way too many skills to be overtaken by Sokaju. So I thought it was kind of a bit of a quick stop. I think. I don't think Sokaju was out. It pales in comparison to the Fedor versus Brett match. Brett was facing the other way towards the mat, cowering from the punches, and people were saying it was a premature stoppage. I have had a couple people say that to me. But the Gagard versus Sokaju was even less than that. It looked like Sokaju was still, had his guard up. I don't get it. I didn't think Sokaju looked like he was out at all, really. But I could be wrong. The refs kind of, get a better angle of what's happening than we do. So, which, even that being said, his arms are still up. His eyes are rolling back or something, and his guard's still up. I don't think so. I think his arms would have fell if he was out. So, anyway, that's just my take on it. Other than that, it was a really good fight. Gagard used some awesome tools, beat up his knees, or beat up his legs with the knee shots. Gagard's just a good, all-around crafty fighter, man. He looks like one of the guys commented in the vlogs, the comment section of the fight, that he's in a couple of years he's going to start looking like Fedor. I can't disagree with that, man. He's starting to look like a Fedor type fighter where he's good everywhere. I mean, you get him on his back, he's amazing. It's submissions and. Sokaju didn't seem to have too much of a problem though when it came to that, but they didn't spend a whole lot of time there. Gagard usually got back on his feet pretty quick. So anyway, now Fedor versus Brett. Apparently Brett was complaining that Fedor kept punching him after he was already out. And Fedor said, I wasn't punching him. I was simply high-fiving his face. No. None of that was said. Anyway, Fedor versus Brett was a good fight. I expected Brett to do good, which he did good. He was able to kind of push Fedor around a little bit, but Fedor just has a really good technique for using your weight against you. I mean, he was able to, when Brett's coming at him, he flung him aside, and I mean, it's almost like the Sokaju match. Fedor just had too much skill for him. And Brett says, Brett was saying in the post-fight conference or whatever that he didn't, get his punches off or whatever, and he didn't do what he wanted to do, and it's like, well, sorry, you might not get another chance. So because I think you're exposed now. People know that you don't have a amazing chin. You get in there with another good puncher, you might get knocked out again. So Brett, Brett in the conference I saw, Brett didn't make a bunch of excuses. He almost seemed like he was taking his hat off, but he really didn't pay much respect to Fedor. That being said, but Brett clearly lost. I mean, this is for the ones that say, it's a premature stoppage, and if I didn't see Brett, going like this, he wasn't covering his face, he wasn't doing any of that. He was rolling over like this, just about giving Fedor his back. That's worse than taking punches, because Fedor is perfect at rear naked chokes. So that's my argument. It's like, you could say it's a premature stoppage, but he gave his back to Fedor, just almost gave his back to Fedor, and if he would have kept proceeded, I think the ref knew, okay, at this point you're going to get choked out or knocked out, you know, at this point. So he was really only in more trouble than people know. Yeah, he's taken a few punches. I saw his head bounce a few times off the mat, and I'm like, okay, this is... He's saying he wasn't out? I mean, you're taking, you know, repeated shots, you know. He took a good 3-4 shots, you know, on the ground. I mean, that's that's after the initial punch that dropped him. And then he took another 3-4 more, and the ref's like, okay, I've seen enough. But like I said, he's turned, and his face is just about facing the mat. You're not defending yourself, you know, doing that. So, and they say, if you're not defending yourself, or you're turning away, or, you know, then that's it. It's over. You're basically saying you quit. So that's the way refs do it, man. And it's been that way a long time now. So there's no change in that. But overall, man, it was a good night of fights, man. Just like the night before it. You know, challengers. You know, and I gotta retract my comment on what I made about challengers. I said, man, it's gonna be a joke. Why would Coker even put it on? I tuned in. Man, that was a badass night of fights. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, I didn't know any of the guys, but they all turned out to be like really good puncher matches, good chess matches. I mean, it was just a good night of really close fights. You know, it was a good night. You know, the 6th and the 7th of November were both really good fight nights, and man, I'm looking forward big time to UFC 105, which I will have a pre-fight for that. I touched on it a little bit in my last blog, but so thanks for tuning in. Hope you like it. If you got some comments, go check out the page. Make your comments there. Make your comments on YouTube. Subscribe button. And
there's only one true path in life. The road that leads to all leads to one.